Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Brew and Build. Today we are in the new snapshot. This is a test world, not a test world, but a copy of our old world. I made this before we built up last episode's thingy, the big spruce tree cutter. I wanted to check out the new snapshot stuff because it's really cool. And I've got some ideas. Now, currently, we do not have our texture pack on. We do have a texture pack on, but it just changes a couple blocks that I've been working on with ideas. And I gotta say, I actually kind of like what the glass actually looks like in this area. I think like the new glass texture without all the streaks is pretty wonderful. And I'm actually kind of a fan of it. I'm not going to change too much of our glass texture, but I would like, I think, to change it so there's not a circle here, if you can remember what the texture actually looks like. But as I said, we are going to be looking at the new update stuff, the Nether update stuff. And I have this stuff laid out right here. I just said stuff like 12 times in a row. These are a lot of the new blocks, the ones that I think are the most important out of everything. I may have missed a couple here and there, but that's okay. So going into it just real quickly, we have the Crimson Forest, various things. So this is what, Crimson Nilium or something like that. And then this is Warped Nilium for the Warped Nether Forest. And then they have these cool animated logs. Really cool. One thing to note about these is they are tileable. Like if you build up and left or right, it just looks like a flat wall. There's no line. Like this has a darkening right here. So these look like pillars. These can just look like big veiny walls or floors. And so that's really cool. This new vine is also real creepy and pretty cool as well. And overall, I love everything about this except the planks. They need to be redder. I saw Germsy Boy did something when he changed the texture to being a little bit redder, and I think I'm going to have to do that as well. Of course, this is the first snapshot, so this is not anything that is like set in stone, so they could very well change this. Just doesn't seem to make sense to have all this red and then this be purple. Just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Now, the Warp Forest is also very awesome. Oh, I guess there is this. I don't know what that is. And then this mushroom as well, which grows into this, what you'll see, I guess, when we go in the Nether. The Warped Nether Warp Forest is also very cool. We get a blue Nether Wart, which is awesome. A blue variant of the logs, and then the stripped and the plank versions, and I think they're very cool. Really cool mushroomy looking thing that I think could be pretty cool if you mess with it in biome specific areas. You might be able to mess around and make this into something that could be like actual mushrooms or something. I don't know. It's something I thought of, but I think they can only be placed on nether related things like nether nilium. And then you've got this short little grass that is also very cool. And then over here are the doors for the various woods. This is the Crimson Door, and this is the Warped Door. The Warped Door is sick. It looks crazy, and it's just super cool. Very magical feeling. Same with the trapdoors. Very squiggly, almost ocean feeling. I think this would be a really cool ocean base or a fantasy base. That's what this stuff seems to lend itself to, is high fantasy types of builds. This door, really like the texture. Probably going to change it. If I change the logs and the stuff to being more red, we'll obviously match the colors. Probably will actually make the handle like metal, and I may add a little bit of metal and stuff on there just to make it, not just one color. And then the trapdoors, nothing special, just acacia with just the acacia just flipped, I think. So that's kind of disappointing, but I mean, it's okay. Here are the signs. Something interesting is they use the log texture down here. I don't know if I like it or not. And one thing on this as well, this texture has too much highlight. If we look here, there's not nearly as much contrast in these colorations as this. So I'm probably going to take this texture and recolor it to match this as best as I can. Just because this just, there's just not, it's just too in your face with a lot of the stuff. I think it needs to be died down a little bit. Now, as I've been walking on this side, this is the new basalt block. Really cool. So it's got this side, looks almost like, if you pillar it, it looks like a, almost like a burnt log. And it's very cool. I really like it. A new stone is always welcome in my book. This is the top. This is probably my favorite block. I mean, so the top looks like this. Looks like a cobblestone, just a dark version. Almost looks like charcoal pellets as well. Could be really, really cool for making various forges and things. I think that's really cool. And then, of course, the new thing that everyone is hyped about or upset about or what have you is this, which is the ancient ore, I think it's called. Or ancient debris. I don't remember what it's called. Looks really cool. Looks like a very like rusty metal almost, and very cool. Could be something very cool in the Steampunk City. But ain't no way we're going to be building with this because it is way too rare to even consider building. I mean, it takes a lot. So let me break it down for you. You get one ancient debris. You have to smelt that into one netherite scrap. It takes 4 scraps and 4 gold ingots to make one netherite ingot. And then, yes, I have the armor on. And you take 1 ingot and you put it on your sword or your whatever to get the different types of blades. So you don't need as much of the material to be able to actually like upgrade your stuff. But it does take a lot of time to dig this out because I think they only spawn in veins as big as 3, so you have to find 2 veins, which they are few and far between. They spawn on the lower levels of the nether, and that is just, it's under lava level, so it's pretty dangerous as well. So yeah, it's going to be a adventure to try and get this stuff, but I think it's going to be fun regardless. So here is a look at the new tools and stuff and the new armor. This is what it looks like on you. I think the new armor looks awesome, and I think we're going to have to change our iron back to being more normal colored iron. No longer this blue texture because this is so close. We already have like a dark iron now. I think we may have to change our iron back to normal. They are different because this is blue and this is not. This is just black. So I may not change it back, but that may be in the future of our texture pack. Also, speaking of texture pack, just real quick, I know that a lot of you want to download it, and I know a lot of you would enjoy having that. With the 1.15 update, a few things broke, so I'm fixing that. I'm working on the Patreon this week to actually just get it up and running. And I've been going back and forth if I should release it just on its own or if I should just put it behind a Patreon wall. And I think I'm going to put it behind a Patreon wall because I'm a designer by trade, and it's hard for me to want to release something that I design and work on for free. It just kind of goes against what design really can offer to people, and a lot of times design stuff can be taken advantage of, and so it's just kind of in me that I don't want to necessarily just give it without being able to have some sort of benefit for the channel, because anything that comes from Patreon, any income that comes from Patreon goes right back into the channel. It's not going to actually be for anything else. It'll be able to help me upgrade my gear. In terms of, not my Minecraft gear, we already got all the diamonds. It'll be for helping us have better sound equipment, an upgrade to the PC so I can have smoother frames, better shaders when Optifine comes out, etc., etc. So that is the status on that. I'm working to update the broken textures because they've changed a few things in terms of how models work for like chests and things. So I have to just change some of the stuff. So sorry about that, and just sorry for any of you who want it for free. It's not going to be expensive. I'm going to put it behind probably like a $3 to $5 wall, and then you can, if you want it, it's just a one-time thing that you don't even have to make a repeating sort of monthly payment or anything. To get updates, you will, but to get the first time download, that'll be just a one-time type of thing. So sorry about that, but let's go ahead and get on into the Nether. Now I'm going to go ahead and wander on over to our Nether portal. I would like to do this in survival and without an elytra to see. We're going to be in this armor because I don't want to die. But I also want to see what it's like to explore around without, like, if you just go into the Nether on your, maybe day 3, then I want to see what that's like. Well, we spawned in a relatively decent place, kind of on the edge here, but not that bad. Oh, there's a ghast. But we spawned right next to this warped forest, which is really cool. So this is what the nether wart trees look like. Whoa, there is some crazy transitions happening. There's only it's just a 1 frame type of thing where it changes immediately. Am I on Moody? Yes, I am. Let's go back up to bright. Actually, let's just go full on bright. So this is what it looks like. The warped forest looks like. Super cool. Has particles floating around. And the nether wart trees look really cool. That is a new block. I tried to zoom key. Doesn't exist because we don't have Optifine. That block is called Shroomlight. And it's really cool. It's got some interesting uses. It's got a really cool sound effect when you place it. And so, yeah, these are really cool. Now I'm going to go try and find a crimson forest because, oh dear. Okay, well, I'm going to try and get off of this and get out of here and try and find a crimson forest. And then I'll bring you back. All right, so I ended up actually just flying in creative to find this because it actually was quite a ways away. This is the biome I really wanted to check out because it's pretty cool. So this is what the basalt, how it spawns. It spawns in giant pillars, so that'll be probably not terrible to get. There is a new soul type of block, soul soil. You can run on it, does not matter. And it also, let's give me a flint and steel, and you light it up, and it's blue flames. Very, very cool. Oh, yeah, you go away. I don't need you. Oh, that is why. Okay. Ouchie, mama. Okay, go away. Go away. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is why this place is so dangerous. Because ghasts spawn more frequently. And there are skeletons. Please just die. I will get a bow. All right, well, that ding dong is going to be over there. But the fog is so cool in this. And I want to build in this area. Please just die. I want to build in this biome. And that's going to be, as you saw with the ghasts, really hard. So I have a couple ideas as to how to do that. That I've put on the Minecraft Reddit suggestions, and also have kind of made posts about it. This is also the other area, the warped forest. Very cool. This is so slow, gosh. Would you just, oh my. So this is the not warp forest. This is the crimson forest. Looks very, very cool. Gee, that guy is just scoping me out. As you can see, skeletons also spawn in Soul Sand Valleys. And here's the new Hoglin, and he does not have the, oh my gosh, his legs flap. That's awesome. And bones, they generate also in this Soul Sand Valley. Very cool. Geez, this place is so hard to travel around, though. We would definitely have to do some modifications to our pathways. And we're just going to get rid of that guy. Oh, wait, overshot it. There we go. Wham. Dead. But I really love the atmosphere this produces. It's super cool. Would you just stop? It's very cool, and I've got to build up palette that I think could be very, very cool in this area. So let's jump into another world that is a creative world that I've been kind of test building. And let me just get out of here. Actually, it doesn't even matter. This world doesn't even matter to me. Oh, it's very cool. You can go all the way down there. Okay, we are in a creative test world. This is a Soul Sand Valley that I have found, and some of you have probably already seen. I made this, which was just a concept to introduce an idea I had, which is the Soulfire Campfire. And so I've just done some texture changing to make it so it looks like this. The idea was that you introduce soil into the crafting recipe, And then you also change the log blocks out for bone blocks or bones. I could see either or you do bone blocks, and I think there's sticks also required, and you'd get rid of the sticks for bones. Could be a really cool concept to get a blue campfire that is a separate thing from the campfire. I know some people have said just do this but put soul soil underneath it, and that changes the flame color, but I think it should go further. Also allows for bones to be lit like this or laid down like this. You can use them as like bone spurs coming off of things, and I think it looks overall very, very cool. And I really like the overall concept. One of the ideas I had recently was the soul gourd. Now we have pumpkins and we have melons, and I think the soul gourd could be a pretty cool addition. The concept of it is based around what a carved pumpkin does for Enderman. If you look at an Enderman with a carved pumpkin on, they won't get mad at you. And so I thought that could be really cool for ghasts to reduce aggro. And so I've made a concept where currently this is what it looks like on my head. But do we have, actually we have the textures enabled. So it would be more like this, has like the soul soil face on it, and looks kind of ghastly as well. And you would find them maybe spawned very rarely in the soul sand valleys, and maybe also with some wither roses, since that could give a natural spawning wither rose point. I thought that could be a really cool concept. But as you can see, okay, let me take this off, because can't get if this became a thing, I would get rid of the overlay just entirely. I'd just remove it because it'd be ridiculous. And as you can see, it fits in. I think it fits in well, and it's just literally the melon texture right now, but grayed out and made a little bluer, and that's about it. So this was just a concept. This concept and that one I thought was something I wanted to share in an actual video, and I thought that this was a cool thing. Now let's jump into the other portion of this world, which will let us look at some build concepts. So I was doing some experimenting around, as you can see in the background, we'll take a look at that in a second, with just some floor plans, just to kind of, not plans, but like floor designs, because it's hard. These blocks are really hard to use. Like these vibrant ones are hard to use in anything else, I think. They're more like accent blocks to give a splash of color. Or if you're doing like a Japanese build, you could use, I guess, this in place of prismarine. That could be a thing. I think they actually go really well together with prismarine. So that could be cool. So going along, I was going through and making these in trying to think of a build palette for a floor design for a nether build. And so this one I really like. It's like using the veininess of the nether wart log. And I think that, or maybe it's nether stem. What is this called? Warped stem. That's what it is. And I thought this was a really cool concept. It's pretty cheap and easy to use. You just have to grow these guys, and then you can make that. This is showcasing the stripped warped stem with prismarine. Also looks very good. We'd have to make a farm for prismarine, but that is not a bad thing at all. And then this basalt was hands down my favorite block to work with. You can just use so much. So these are just two designs that are utilizing the basalt texture, and it is very cool. And I think it works really well, especially with the cyan terracotta. Works super well, I think, with that. And andesite as well, because it has that purple texture in common with it. And then cobblestone. It also shares a pretty similar cobblestone feel. And so I thought that was a pretty cool thing. It can go well with most grays. And then I even tried to throw in some polished diorite to make it a little bit more of a border. Here comes the struggle bus. So I tried to figure out how to use the purple stuff, and I found textures that could work together, minus maybe the bee nest, or beehive or whatever it is, because I don't know, I was just trying something. Purple and yellow are complementary colors, so I tried it. I don't think we don't have enough yellow blocks to really go with it. But here are some maybe path designs made out of nelium and of various other blocks. I thought that these were pretty cool as well. I could see doing this, and I could see doing this in the Soul Sand Valley, because this could be a really cool pathway that goes all the way up to a build. And then this is my first inclination, what I first thought of, minus the diorite. It's all made out of quartz. Just tried the diorite to see what it looked like. This is like, if you've played World of Warcraft, the first thing that came to my mind, I think the place is called Azeroth, the Dark Elf area. For some reason, my head instantly went there. I haven't played World of Warcraft in probably 10 years. So this was just, I looked up one image of one building that is this, and this is kind of representative of it. And so I thought this could be a really cool fantasy type build, really expensive. And I don't know if we could use it. I wonder what it looks like in our texture pack with the diorite changes. Yeah, so I think with the diorite changes, this actually could be a really cool build palette, because our diorite is more marbly looking. And so that would be a much cheaper alternative to be able to make these. And it wouldn't look awful with the current diorite. But I thought this was a cool thing nonetheless. And so with all these came the idea that I am most excited about, and the reason why I want the Soul Gourd, because I want to build this concept in the Soul Sand Valley. This is just a very, very small portion of it, but I can see like a dark kingdom being in the Soul Sand Valley, and I think this could be a really cool build palette and usage of a lot of the blocks. So we would have to do custom landscaping to make it a little bit more bright and eerie, but also eerie looking. If you've ever played League of Legends, you would know what the Shadow Isles are, and this is my Shadow Isles concept. I think this speaks well for the Shadow Isles. If you don't know, Shadow Isles is basically like, I mean, it is literally like ghastly bluish tealy cyany feeling, like all this flamey stuff here, and then I just think this could be really cool, and I will probably figure out a way to do this in the Soul Sand Valley, even if we can't use a Soul Gourd type of concept where ghasts don't attack us. Maybe when we're building in this area in the Soul Sand Valley, we turn off the ability for mob griefing to happen, and it's only in that area because we want to build something cool, and ghasts will just blow it up. I don't care if they're attacking me so much. I just don't want them to blow me up. I'll make a butt ton of make a netherite armor out of all blast protection if I have to, in order to make it so I don't care that much about them. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this concept, because I want to also bring this almost into the steampunk city in telling us a reason behind the nether, because we have a reasoning with Sarthal about the end. Now let's get into the lore behind why the nether is here. And so I can see this being like a dimension that's all around, like the nether being a place where a few times a year they comes through, and it's like in League of Legends lore, it's called the harrowing, I think. And we could do something along those lines where they've been more happening. Harrowings have been happening more frequently. Maybe we come up with a different term. And it's kind of been like this realm is also merging with the destabilization of the end. Maybe we could even tie all three of them into it. I don't know. Just a concept. But that is all I have time for in this episode, because let's actually put my gourd back on. There we go. I also got a new chest texture made. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. This is just the single chest texture. It's a just birch, stripped birch. It's a little different. Not everybody uses the stripped birch, and they always go for oak because that's probably the closest, but I like this. I think it's pretty cool. I may make the large version oak, and then we have like different colorations of chests that we could use. I thought that could be a kind of cool concept. But anyway, let's break that. There we go. Anyway, that is all I have time for in this episode. Let me know what your thoughts are about all this new stuff, the new ideas, and especially this build behind me, what your thoughts are on it, and if you think we should move forward with this when the Nether update arrives. that's all I've got time for. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like in real life, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.